They're excluding our industry in a mad dash to zero, makes their timelines and targets not only unachievable, but guarantees they will fail. To get to zero, we have to be honest and we have to be transparent about the road ahead. Sourcing rare materials needed for millions of 5,000-pound truck batteries, the infrastructure needed to charge them, and the additional electricity needed to power our trucks full scale doesn't yet exist and won't if you allow California to set the nation's standard. Trucking now moves 72.5% of our nation's freight tonnage. Over the next decade, trucks will be tasked with moving 2.4 billion more tons of freight than they do today. The moment that slows or stops, Americans, your constituents, are going to want answers. The responsible approach is also the realistic approach. Achievable timelines and targets do matter. The ATA will continue supporting policies that are responsible, realistic, and inclusive of our industry.
Just to be able to move the same product we're moving now. Has anybody done the study on that and what congestion that's going to cause? And honestly, how much bigger of a carbon footprint that's going to put on California?
Yeah, the American Transportation Research Institute's done some pretty significant recent studies on this subject and the impact that it's going to have. And looking logically at the availability of minerals to create those batteries, these are 5,000-pound batteries or more going into these trucks. And the amount of lithium, graphite, cobalt that has to go into these batteries to process that, it's not readily available. We're not sourcing that here in the U.S. Not going to come from China. It's going to come from Congo. I mean, that needs to be decided in terms of availability of the equipment.
Right.
Beyond that, the infrastructure to charge it, not in place. And then the amount of electricity needed to charge it. ATRA did this study, and they're showing that to charge all trucks and cars currently on the road would be 40% of current capacity.
Right.
I mean, think about that. Where's the power gonna come from, especially in California where there's already rolling, blackouts? So, this is a question that we believe has to be answered before you move forward with such an aggressive timeline. That's also, by the way, not just confined to California. It's gonna set the national standard for the entire country if the EPA doesn't step in. So we need a national framework. We're interstate commerce. You've driven across the country in a truck. You understand that.